At the point of lust is the point where you become weary. Like I told you, if you have never lost anything before, you value what you have. But like I said, our heart is always supposed to go after the lost. There are people that are seated here. Some of you are going through all kinds of situations. Sometimes you come here, you are a shadow of yourself. And that's why I say, let love be among us. At least you look at somebody's face, is moody, you ask, how are you doing? What's going on? I'm fine, but you know you are not fine. The lost does not really necessarily have to be sinners. Sometimes it may be people among us. There are moments at time I wake up, I'm just crying. I don't know why. I'm just tired. I'm just worried, you know. And somebody just called. Apostle, how are you doing now? I'm fine. Say, I'm not fine. Your voice. You don't just understand what's going on. Say, sorry, I'm praying for you. That I'm praying for you is big. Yes. It's a parable of love. How that at the midst of all kinds of problems and challenge, you should be able to go out for the lost. And sometimes it's not what one man can do. Now, it's what everybody have to engage. Make it as a responsibility. That your friend, that person that you have cast away thinking, yeah, they are just this, they are just that. Can you reach out to them? You don't know why. Because God still loves them. The parable of the lost is a clear-cut indication letting us to understand that there is always joy in heaven over redeeming of the lost. And this is the purpose for which Jesus Christ died, why he resurrected, and why he gave us victory. Say, Peter, the devil desires to sweep you like a reed, but I pray for you that your faith fail not. But when you are strong, strengthen your brethren. That means the devil wanted you to get lost, but I pray for you that you don't get lost. And now when you are not lost, ensure your brethren are not lost. I sat down one day, I was pondering, are we sure Judas was lost because nobody prayed for him? If Judas had somebody that truly prayed and interceded for him, we can't blame Jesus. Jesus prayed for all of them. But why did Jesus pray for Peter specifically? You see why I said that sometimes we must be really, really intentional about reaching out to people, about helping people, about being there for people. As hard as this thing can be, it's not what one man can do. We all must make it our duty, our responsibility, because people can truly be lost. The last part of the parable of the lost before we go to the last parable of the day is the parable of the lost son, which of course many of you are aware of. I think it seems to be a Lenten reading, right? 15, chapter 15, right? Luke 15, 11. And he said, a certain man had two sons. Mind you, you knew why Jesus has been speaking all this parable to back up his statement, right? The Pharisees were angry with him why he related with sinners. And peradventure you are here and you feel there are some of you that the evangelism team here have been trying, reaching out to the lost. But some of you believe it's not your job. I understand. But let me tell you, you are not a true Christian if you don't want others to know about Jesus. Christianity is not the shouting, the we do. No. It's a lifestyle. It's a culture. And we must be intentional and deliberate about it. The parable of the lost son. And he said, a certain man had two sons. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of the goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country. And there wasted his substances with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there was a mighty famine in the land. And he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country. And he sent him into his field to feed swine. And he would fain have filled his belly with the hawks that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's had bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father. I will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and I am not more worthy to be called thy son. Make me one of thy hired servants. This is a popular parable, very popular. All of us knew about the parable. We call it the prodigal son. Is that true? But do you know this parable is really not more about the prodigal son more than the loving father? I know you are looking at the son, I'm looking at the father, because the father is truly Abba. Children are known to misbehave. Sons are meant, they are known to misbehave. Fatherhood comes with so much maturity. And so when you see a father behaving like a child, you know there is an error there. This parable, to me, is more like a rebuke to the Pharisees. Because Jesus Christ put himself in a position where the Pharisees were not qualified to be. That if they were truly the fathers of the faith movement as of that time, they should be wise enough to know that this son that are coming back have realized his mistake and is returning back home. Because I told you the genesis of this parable was because they saw people, saw sinners coming to Jesus, right? And the Pharisees were angry. Why allow these people come to you? And Jesus was using parable to let them understand. Yes, I have come for the lost. They will not get to understand that. But he began to let them understand stories with hidden meanings. And I bet you they didn't understand, because if they do understand, they would have repented. That there was a man that has two sons. Because it was actually them. They were the foolish, they were the wise, they were the older son, right? Are you understanding what Jesus is? They were the older son because they were mature. Is that okay? And the sinners coming to Jesus were the younger sons. So Jesus expected them to behave maturely. He said, this son, although he is younger, came and met his father, said, give me my inheritance. I know many of you are here, your father is a billionaire, is a millionaire, you are waiting for when he's going to die so that you inherit something. You to a shock and surprise you, they have donated the money to charity. A man stood on national TV and said, all his money will be to charity. I said, your children are looking at you. What? He's a billionaire. See, stop having the mentality that somebody will do something and give you one day. Don't do that. Yes, a good father should leave inheritance for his children, right? But the father was good. You too go and become a good father, because you'll be a father one day. Because no matter how you are, if you don't grow, even if your father give you 10 billion, you will still become that foolish son. Because that was what happened to the son. There is no maturity in the son. So he squandered everything. Collected everything. The father did not argue with him. Yes, it's your right and portion, I agree. He gave him everything. Divided it. And went with it. And when he went with it, the Bible says he went and lived a very, very wicked life. I mean, he lived a life with gangsters, all kinds of things. He was a big boy. That's good. Let me tell you, your big boy is not forever. I know you saw 1 million in your account, 2 million in your account, 10 million in your account, 20 million in your account. See, it will finish. Money was meant to finish. Is that okay? And like I've always known long time ago, that the days of famine prepared men for the days of abundance. And the days of abundance prepared men for the days of famine. The boy was foolish. He never knew that famine would come. Because the genesis of his problem was when famine came. He If he knew famine would come, he would be wise like Joseph. Say, gather more. Let's have bands and save this thing, because a day of famine come. He never knew. Just when he was there rejoicing and being happy, suddenly famine struck. And when famine struck, it's not as if his money finished. Famine made the price of everything increase, like Nigeria. And as much money that the father gave was not enough again. And the Bible says he began to want. He never had a need. Mind you, want are luxury. Need are necessity. Is that not true? In real sense, many things we want are just luxury. And immediately he was in want. Why? Because he was a waster. And because he was in want, suddenly he wanted to occupy that place of want. And he ran and joined himself with the country people. And when he joined himself with the country people, he find a man, he was there. And the nature of want is that it will never be satisfiable. From want he became a slave, because it was not long enough. He moved from want to need. Now he can no longer feed for himself. Even the money they are paying him, he can't survive again. And now he's in need. And when he's in need, of course, necessity is laid upon you. Man must eat. And when he's in need, there is no way out. Because he was a waster by default, he cannot sustain anything. A waster, nothing multiplying in the hands of a waster. And suddenly, he began to feed with swine. Imagine a guy that left his father's house, a billionaire, came and began to feed with swine. He is now truly humble. Poverty humbled him. Famine humbled him. We don't have to wait for this long for God to humble us. I believe that those sinners, those people that came to Jesus, had an understanding, because that was not their life before. There was a moment in their life when when everything was all fun and good, but suddenly something struck, and when that thing struck, their life became a reproach. So many of you here, your life is going on well. That's nice. I agree with you. But please, don't wait for the days of calamity, because it will come. I tell you, that day will come. How many of you would have prepared for this terrible year? We have seen it in prophecy, spoken about it, prophesy about it. And the Lord gave us a word. I was with my friends praying. I saw eagles. I share all of those visions. How I saw bigger eagles, smaller eagles flying together. The smaller eagle cannot fly above the mountain, and they were hit by the mountain, they fell. The bigger eagle were able to go above the mountain. That was the genesis of the theme for the year, mounting up. I shared this vision. Said how next year economy will collapse. This will happen to Russia. But I have seen all of this. And the Lord said, prepared. Evil is going to be upon the face of the earth. Political sector will crash. We spoke about many things. And I knew. And because an understanding was given, we safeguard ourselves. And I'm telling you again, in the days of famine, be strategically placed, because the days of abundance are coming. You see the challenge you are going through in Nigeria, it will shock and surprise you. What will happen in the next 2 years? Whether Tinubu is still president, because we are consolidating. People are enjoying the suffering. By the time we are done, everybody will shoot up. You don't know, this is how life works. Everything go up and come down, go up and come down. Do you understand my point? We are not going to remain down forever. But those that are down now should be prepared to go up. Are you getting the point? Eagle go on hibernation after a while. Do you get the point now? Everything is prepared for a global takeover. But there are those that are going to be featured in the landscape. People become more richer in the days of recession. That's what you don't know. Ask economists. Recession is the moment of kingdom wealth transfer. Because when others are getting poorer, others are getting richer, ask yourself how. It's not offering and tithe. There are wisdoms. Because in the days of famine, that was when Joseph became more richer. In the days of famine, Egypt prospered. Egypt was not a kingdom that actually has God as the center of the excellency, but the wisdom of Joseph saved the entire country. In the days of famine, everybody is in need. And those that can be able to survive that days of famine enter abundance. The young man put himself into slavery unknowingly, and now he needs redemption fast. But thank God, the next scripture there is that he came to his senses I never knew you had sense before. Please tell your neighbor, return back to your senses. Head of works, please, there is seat here. There is seat here. I'm sitting here. Return back to your senses. And he arose and came to his father. When he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the son said unto his father, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and I am not more worthy to be called thy son. I know sometimes we speak in boldness. We are this, we are that, we are this. Sometimes you see me shout, I am Philip Cephas. I am. Before I do that shouting, I've knelt down several times and cried to God. The strength of what we do is that we are not worthy to even do it. See, if it is anything of God, your disqualification is that you are qualified for it. Nobody just carry a crown and wear it. You weep and cry first. Kingdom crowns are not easy. They have thorns. So nobody put it and laugh. Nobody put it and is smiling. When you put it, is to drip out blood out of you. So the son now understood that he is not worthy to even be called a son to his father. So peradventure, I understand the kind of house that you have built, oh Father. Abba, just make me one out of all these your many servants, because I have never seen any of your servants lack before. This thing to me is a challenge. How can a man in his own house want to be a servant? This is how many of us have lost the glory that God has put upon us, and now we are going after mundane things, chasing after things that does not matter. God put something upon your head, you went and sold your birthright, and now for a pottage you have sold it, and this is something that cannot be replaced. The son now just automatically realized that there is no placement for him again because he has been replaced. And coming back home is a waste of time, because God does not waste resources. Immediately you leave God, God pick up somebody else. If today I wake up and say, no more Shekinah, me, I want to backslide. I saw a beer parlor coming there, I just feel I need to go and join them. Wake up and see. Give me 2 months. Somebody will come with the same flame and the same fire. See, when God calls you to do something, if you don't do it, you will find somebody that will do it. God cannot be stranded. Do you know who you are talking about? God. It may delay, but God will do it. God has a proper, better replacement for everyone. So you come to the point, I am no longer worthy. That's a nice place. And the Abba look at him and say, oh, you are not worthy. Now you are coming with a realization. He said, now that you are not worthy, let me make you worthy. Now, be decorated. The father now fast demanded, said to his servant, bring the best robe and put on him. Put him a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet. And bring hither the fat calf. Kill it. Let us eat and marry. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to be merry. I don't know the verdict that people have passed upon you, but they lied. Because until Jesus finished saying his own verdict, everybody is a liar, including yourself. I know you went out, did some prostitution, did all kinds of things, aborted several times, and now you feel I'm not fit for this kingdom service. I bring you a good news. The Father can decorate again. Bring the best and put upon you. I realize everyone that God used tremendously well, sir, he decorated them himself. Everyone that tried to qualify themselves never have a voice. Why? You can't qualify yourself. You see the standpoint of where my first encounter happened. I was in my room praying and crying, Father, is there anything you can do with someone like me? Because I'm already a product that's been wasted. I never believed anything good can come out of my life. I never read, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Because I was not even fit to be from Nazareth. But I knew That the same God that appeared to me, I don't know why he did that, but I knew he's not done with me. It was that the Polynesian that said it is only God that can use calabash, can use basket to disgrace calabash. Out of the ashes of dying, God revealed glory. It's the mystery of godliness. How God look at those that are not qualified and he qualified them. Many of you that think you are qualified, you will never be figured out in the next agenda of God. Only lost people will be found. And some of you that have been found, don't be lost again. Because there is an ordination upon your head that if it goes, it may never come back again. Out of the privilege of mercy you have been encountered, remain and be ye rooted. Everyone that grace found, grace keep. But anyone that mercy find, mercy preserved. You may not be too qualified, but I know a God. I don't know how my life works till today. If you tell me to sit down and explain to you, you will not understand. But I know the economy of God and I know how it operates. And I'm trying to let you understand, if you are wise in yourself, you'll be so foolish that until you come to the point that you realize that by no man's strength shall he prevail. It's not by power, it's not by might, but it's by the Spirit of the living God. How God does it is he ensures all your uncle disappoint you, all your aunties, all your father, all your mother. And out of the shores of ravens, he begins to breathe out the possibility of survival. And the person that was cast away, go and die of famine, he was now in the Spirit on the Lord's day and is given an advantage. This my son was dead, now he's alive. He was lost, now he's found. There was the best hope in that house. There were cattle in that house for so long. For one day, it was never used for anybody until the day the guy was lost. I thank God I smoked. I thank God I was a sinner before. If not, Jesus wouldn't have met me. I know you are feeling bad that you went through all kinds of things. Don't feel bad. The reason why you are here is because Jesus has found you. Remain and be rooted and grow. Thank God for the days of mistakes. The devil has done his best. He can't do anything again. What is the worst the devil can do? You were an armed robber before. You were a killer before. You were a smoker before. You were a drunkard before. You slept around before. You were lost before. You were a sinner before. Now you are born again. Remain and be rooted. Because the Lord is about to decorate men that he will use to bear influence and impact in the next generation. And those that think they are qualified, like the Pharisees and the Sadducees, will remain there. And they will hear a parable, and it will remain a parable forever. Hey! My gentle say, 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 my gentle, my gentle say, my gentle say, my gentle say, oh my gentle say, my gentle say, oh my gentle say, oh my gentle say, my gentle say, my gentle say, my gentle say, oh 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 my gentle say, my gentle say, oh my gentle say, oh my gentle say, oh my gentle say.